Fam, you already know the drill. There's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, a whole bunch of updates from earlier this morning. Let's get into all of it and more, because for once, we actually have some stuff to talk about that doesn't necessarily revolve around Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. I know a lot of people have been kind of fed up with the videos, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, y'all keep watching them, so I'm gonna keep making them, so, that's kind of the cycle about things, right? I get that some people might be frustrated, but at the same time, it's like a car crash. Even though this sucks, even though this situation is terrible, people cannot look away. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into some comments made by Elliot Friedman, by Rick Dollywall, as well as some analysis posted by Thomas Drance about the Vancouver Canucks on this Friday morning, turned into afternoon and eventually evening because I woke up pretty late today. Starting out with this tweet made by Taj, Elliot Friedman spoke about this, I'm presuming on 32 Thoughts, because there was a new 32 Thoughts podcast posted earlier this morning around this time frame. Another team that needs the brief Christmas break in the worst way is Vancouver. When the market starts rumbling, and I contributed to it this week, I'm not doing it anymore tonight, I'm giving everyone a break. But that team, the Vancouver Canucks, they need a break. You can see it. That team needs a break. And I'm not going to disagree with that in the slightest. The Vancouver Canucks have been such an up and down, hot and cold team. They haven't been getting any goal support from their top guys. We had spoken about this in yesterday's Vegas-Vancouver postgame video, but you think about all the goals that are being scored by Vancouver lately. Okay, you've got Danton Heinen, you've got Teddy Bluger, you've got Kiefer Sherwood, you've got Dakota Joshua, you've got a whole bunch of guys in the middle to bottom parts of the lineup who are scoring, but no Besser lately, no Miller, no Petey, no top guys that are supposed to go out there and provide the stable offensive production to succeed in this league. When was the last time Connor Garland scored a goal? As much as we all love him, the top guys have not been pulling their weight. They've been carried by hat tricks out of guys like Kiefer Sherwood and extended goal support from the bottom of the lineup. And this team is definitely one of the teams that is going to need to use this break to the best of their ability. Just use it to reset, get their mental back together, and hopefully come back into the locker room with as much poise as they could get. And the break isn't even here yet. They're still going to play a little bit more. They've got, I believe, Seattle on Saturday? Tomorrow, and then, they have Ottawa tomorrow. Right, Travis Green. And then they have the San Jose Sharks on Monday. Yeah, Seattle is Saturday next week. That's my bad. But it is a limited break here. Vancouver is going to need it. Just go back home, get some chill time, be able to relax with your folks. We had ourselves some other tweets, though, that go out there and dive into the diatribe of Vancouver Canucks updates. We had ourselves Moj. Remember Donnie and the Moj? Yeah, no, here's the Moj and Halford and Bruff earlier this morning speaking about Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. When you start digging around and you start talking to people, there's an issue there. Coaches have gotten involved, they've had sit-downs, management has gotten involved, agents. This is a serious issue from what I've been led to believe. Obviously, the Moj has connections. He's been in the Vancouver beat for years now. Somebody goes out there and says, yeah, the Moj doesn't know a thing. He needs to stick to football. Imagine doubting Moj, who is connected everywhere, Taj says. Serious issue, eh? Coaches involved, sit-downs, management's gotten involved. Sit-downs is really interesting, in my opinion. Does that mean a party above the players or the coaching staff, let's say management, decided to sit these guys down and said, hey, what's up here? Miller, Petey, what are you guys doing? What's going on? If that's the case, then I find it kind of unprofessional that things have gotten to this point now, right? The fact that they're split up on the power play, they can't play on the same unit, and everybody's talking about them not liking each other. Plus, JT Miller not going off on line changes to keep Pettersson on the bench a little bit longer. This entire series of events is so weird for players that apparently have already had sit-downs, plural, to talk about this stuff. Come on, guys. You can't go out there and settle your differences and just play some meaningful gosh darn hockey. Thomas Drance has some ammo as to why this isn't working too. Take a look at this tweet. Over the past 15 games, the Vancouver Canucks have generated fewer than 22 shots on goal per hour at 5v5. That ranks 32nd out of 32 NHL teams since November 18th, and is a full shot beneath the 31st place team in the New York Islanders. The Canucks are just not generating enough. And we had seen this in the past few games too. Very little shots. First periods with 2-4 shots against. Third periods with even fewer shots too. The Vancouver Canucks have not been shooting. And they have been the worst team in the NHL over the past few weeks, let alone the past month, in generating shots on goal at 5v5. And that is not good enough from a team that has a 40-goal scorer in Besser, 2 100-point players in Miller and Petey, and a 90-point defenseman, Norris caliber guy in Quinn Hughes. Like, obviously I'm not tossing Hughes into the fray and saying that he's been underperforming, because he's actually been very good, but he is one of many players on this team, and the team as a whole have not been shooting. They gotta shoot more. Now, to end this video off with the trade update, we had ourselves Rick Dhaliwal going out there and talking about the Canucks situations from Mike Halford and Jamie Dodd earlier this morning on what was Halford and Brough. Let's go out there and read the Vancouver Canucks news summaries about the Rick Dhaliwal hit. The Canucks star players, the last 7 goals have come from the bottom 6. No points from Pettersson in 5 games. Miller's got 2 goals in 13 games. Okay, yeah, we've been talking about this the entire time. Miller, Pettersson, and Besser had combined for 1 shot. Every player needs to be pulling on the same rope in the same direction. Not worried about the dressing room, but it is about consistency on the ice. Dhaliwal talks about the roster freeze, doesn't remember much hype about that in prior years, and then he goes over to Canucks plans. Take a look at this. He gets the sense that Bowen Byram is still one of the Canucks' top targets. A team executive told Dhaliwal that it's hard to find top 4 defensemen on the trade market right now because the prices are high and teams want top prospects. Lots of teams still want to make the playoffs. The Vancouver Canucks were one of many teams, which was every team in the league, that had interest in Kaapo Kakko, and Dhaliwal gets the feeling that Jim Rutherford will not sit idle. He also wouldn't be surprised to see a roster shakeup in January if they continue to play inconsistently. Everything went right last year for the Vancouver Canucks, and this year, it's the opposite. Let's go over onto the other thing here. This is a pretty big scoop, I would say. Dhaliwal speaks out about Nils Hoglander. He's got no goals in his last 26 games, and he's got 21 games without a point. Low confidence level for Hoggy here. His agent talked to the team a few weeks ago, and everyone agreed to work together to get his confidence back. Dhaliwal said he asked his agent if he got permission to talk to other teams or has asked for a trade, but he didn't get a response. He has known the agent for many years. This situation between Hoglander and the Canucks may be past the point of being fixable, and he's got 0 trade value. He had some extension talks with the team in the summer, but nothing serious. One of the most conditioned players in camp, and he wanted to set an example for other young guys. However, Dhaliwal does not know how the Canucks could possibly trade him at this point. Besser and Hoglander are the only drafted wingers that the Canucks have on their NHL roster. It just looks like Hoglander is not a target guy, and Dhaliwal compares the situation to Andrei Kuzmenko. The onus is on the player too, the messages have been relayed there. He also then talks about local media. He says here that 1 reporter on the road trip, and the Canucks didn't even send their in-house reporter, so there isn't really much coverage going on with the team right now on this 2-game road trip. Very sad reflection of the industry. No reporters from newspapers or the radio have been on any road trips. They haven't been able to get any answers because no reporters are traveling. And then on the practice facility, Dhaliwal talks about here, once the Flames build their new rink, the Canucks will be the only team in the league without a practice facility. There was traction at UBC, but there's so much red tape there, and it's tough to really make that work. So, with this in mind, this has been your Vancouver Canucks trade update and situation update over the past a little while here. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below at everything we had talked about in this video. From Elliot Friedman talking about how the Vancouver Canucks need the break, to the Moj on Halford and Brough talking about how this is a serious situation between Miller and Pettersson, to what Thomas Drance spoke about in regards to Canucks stats, and then Rick Dhaliwal's tweet, or not tweet, but his radio segment as well, talking about different Canucks things. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9, and bye.